No, I cannot say it played out exactly as I expected, Skip, but it did play out how I expected to a degree. Both defenses played really well. Both offenses had moments. You know, you saw early on Lamar Jackson to Zay Flowers on the scramble action. You expected Lamar to make some plays with his legs. He did, converted a crucial 4th and 1 in that first half. Made some huge plays. That 4th and 1 could have been a touchdown. I mean, he had a chance once he got out of there to score.
I was actually surprised he didn't break away.
Me too. Me too.
Didn't you think maybe he was gone? Whew.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about the National Football League, and defenders aren't just letting you get away. Now,
I understand,
you got some corners out there running.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But they played really well. But you know what I said? I told people to temper expectations. I was sitting there in one of these forums, these open forums with Baltimore fans and Chiefs fans, and Baltimore fans were saying they expected it to be a double-digit blowout win.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, this is probably going to be an easy. They don't stop the run well. We run the ball well. And I said, hold your horses. Usually with Kansas City, you're talking about a middle-of-the-road defense from, kind of fringe top.
I never expected it to be a double-digit loss. This is Kansas City. This is Andy Reid. This is Pat Mahomes. This is Travis Kelce. This is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Baltimore Ravens was the better team. Now, listen, I'm not going to go too much further. I want to hear Richard break it down, and I really want to hear what Michael Irvin has to say, because I've listened to this already, but I want to react with it with y'all. And I also want to talk about what Michael Irvin said, because I agree with what Michael Irvin said out of Skip Bayless, Richard Sherman, and Michael Irvin. So, but yes, this was never going to be a blowout game. This was going to be a 3-point to a 7-point type game, depending on how the game flow was at that fourth quarter. So I never thought this was going to be a blowout.
10. Not this year. This year, they're top 3 defense. They're 2 in scoring. Spags has been calling an unbelievable game, especially as of recently. He's been doing a phenomenal job, and Chris Jones in those playoffs is a menace, and he wasn't the only one. Minahu had a huge strip sack of Lamar Jackson, and I was worried about Lamar Jackson holding the ball potentially too long. He did it in the Houston game, but against a young Houston team, you can get away with that. You can get away with some mistakes and make up for it. But with a veteran championship Super Bowl champion team, you're not going to get away with that, and he didn't. And that's what I expected. I expected Patrick Mahomes to show up in a big way. He definitely did in the first half.
In the first half, he did.
Right. And, I looked at this game, and I thought it was a case on both sides where your greatest asset became your greatest liability. Lamar Jackson's greatest asset all year as he sat in the pocket. Man, he looked great sitting in the pocket. It became his greatest liability. I thought he should have had 150 yards rushing yesterday, and I'm talking about on the low end. If he just gets out, when they kept closing that pocket in on Lamar, he just waited and waited. Now, I lauded praise upon him when he did this in the regular season, but not now. Here, you don't do this. Let me tell you why. I believe in a regular season, we play the possession. You play a series at a time. You play the possession. People even start out with the top 15, but that's a possession, top 15 plays. But when you get to the playoffs and you get to a championship game, you got to play each play. You got to play each play. And I thought in the Baltimore Ravens games, there were times where I can easily run and get this first down, but we made it harder on ourselves, or they made it hard on themselves trying to make certain plays, throwing the ball right here, right now. And I used to get mad at.
So let me say this. I'm gonna start off and I'm gonna get to exactly what Michael Irvin said, because I agree with him 100%. I've said that Lamar Jackson was the best overall quarterback in the NFL the last 2 to 3 years, over Pat Mahomes, over Josh Allen. And the reason why I believe that, I believe that Lamar could beat you several different ways. There are quarterbacks that can beat you the way Lamar can. Can they do it the way he can? No, they cannot. Josh Allen can run the ball, but can he run the ball the way Lamar? Is he as quick and fast as Lamar? No. Now, he might be powerful, a little bit more powerful than Lamar, but he's not quick as fast. I would call Lamar Jackson running style like a Barry Sanders. I would call Josh Allen's running style like a Jerome Bettis, if you want to talk about it in a quarterback running type of way. In Pat Mahomes, is kind of like what I would call a Magic Johnson type point guard, like far as passing the ball, getting it to his weapons all over the field. I think he's the best at that. I think he's better at Lamar like that way. But if you take away his weapons and you put pressure on him, I think you can beat Pat Mahomes. I don't think there's really no way to beat Lamar when he is on his game. And in the playoffs, you got to be on your game. So going to what Michael Irvin is saying, guys, Lamar, I love you, buddy. I love you. I respect you 100%. But man, what was you doing, bro? Sitting in the pocket trying to outduel Pat Mahomes throwing the ball. Now, listen, I'm not saying you can't throw. You may be able to make better throws than Pat Mahomes at different times of the game. But, bro, what makes you dynamic is you can run. I believe that you should have had 150 yards, 25 carries in this game if that's what it took. And I believe they was giving you that play a lot of the time. And then every single time they was spying you sometimes, and they was blitzing you to keep you in the pocket. And that's fine. But in the fourth quarter, those last 2 to 3 drives, you should have had 70 yards rushing each of those drives. And if we had to call the timeout for you to get your breath and they lose the game that way, that's ultimately fine. But, bro, you cannot go down and try to sit in the pocket. Like you got, like, tremendous weapons out there. So a lot of people might say, well, Odell Beckham was a separator. You don't put it on his hands when the game is that close. Now, if the game was down, you was down by 14 points, and you had to throw and you weren't going to run your way to that, then I understood. But, bro, all you need is one touchdown. Now, Zay Flowers made mistakes. The defense made mistakes with penalties. I wanted to see you go down with running the ball. And whatever happened to that, then I would have said, you know what? Lamar did what he's supposed to. He couldn't win that game. But I don't think you did what you should have, bro. I'm going to grade you in this game, and I'm going to give you a D. And the reason why I'm going to give you a D, Lamar, you didn't run the ball. You should have had 25 carries. That's what makes you special. That's like Michael Jordan playing against Stephen Curry, and he says, you know what? I can outshoot Stephen Curry from threes. I'm going to shoot a bunch of threes. And you just keep pulling open threes, or shoot threes. And you go like 5 for 20 or something. Why? When you can go to the rack and nobody can stop you. So, Lamar, don't play to the narrative. I thought Lamar played to the narrative. But, guys, we're going to go, and I want to listen to a little bit more of what Michael Irvin's saying. But that's my 2 cents on that.
Donovan McNabb about this a little while ago when he was playing. Like, I want you to be able to sit in the pocket. But if Tom Brady and Peyton Manning had your legs at those times, they're gone. Stop trying to do them to your demise. And I thought Lamar Jackson did that to his demise yesterday. I know we talked about it all year. You did a great job, but right here, let's go. Go get a first down. Don't try to wait on these big plays, trying to sit in the pocket and scramble. That's where they lost the game. You know, Lamar Jackson in the Baltimore Ravens, down +10. They're like 0-28. Since 2013, you can't come back +10. You put up 7 points. Sherman, you talked about it when we talked about an MVP. I didn't even like the way this started. You know what I mean? This game started. You got to be able to make plays in these games if you're going to be considered one of the greatest. And this was one of those games that Lamar could have taken a huge leap forward. If a huge leap forward. And it was right there. And you put up 7 points. We can talk a lot about how they came out. How they came out of that game. Did y'all see in the pregame, right? Patrick was warming up. Patrick Mahomes warming up. Justin Tucker was over there. Travis Kelce, them went and got their stuff and moved their stuff, moved it. I was waiting on, hey, Justin Tucker, go get your guys and come back. I'm not saying fight, but let them know this is our house. This AFC Championship game is in Baltimore. You don't get to choose where you warm up here. You are in our house. They came to Baltimore house and took it. That's my issue. I said to my guys yesterday on the set, I said, man, it's like somebody coming to your house telling you where your pots and pans are. Yeah. Are you joking? They came and took it. They were not ready to meet the intensity of the Kansas City Chiefs early on in that game. They looked just like we were talking about, like they would have walked through this game. There was a championship football team, and they came to prove to everybody who they were, and they did. I thought Baltimore I knew the defense would hold him up, but I knew you would not stop him. But 17 points by that defense, but defense holding you to 17 points, that's all Lamar should have needed to win this football game, and he did not.
Are you saying that Lamar in the second half was trying to prove a point to a fault?
To a fault. No doubt. No doubt.
And Skip Bayless just said it. I said that from the beginning. Now, I'm doing this reaction video later, but guys, this is what I believe from the beginning. Lamar, I'm like, what do you I remember Lamar back in the pocket like 2 or 3 plays where he held the ball for 5-6 seconds. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Then take off, and he would not take off. He wanted to win this game out throwing Pat Mahomes. He had said that in his mind. Now, I have a friend who loves Lamar Jackson, and he disagreed. And respectfully, I think that he is biased and he wants to point the finger at other guys. And as an elite guy, I don't look for, see, when I judge players, I don't always look at the wins and losses and Super Bowl rings. I don't. I know you might say, what? That's not how you can say a player is great. Dan Marino is probably the best quarterback to ever play the game. I'm not going to sit here and say he needs to win a Super Bowl. Now, I saw he didn't play in some games, in big games in the playoffs, he didn't play his best. So that's why I will move him down a little bit and maybe put Tom Brady in front of him. But Dan Marino was a great quarterback. So I'm not going to go off Super Bowl rings and wins every single time. So I don't care that Lamar them lost his game. I'm not going to downgrade Lamar because he lost his game. I'm not going to downgrade Lamar because he might miss a deep throw. I don't give a damn about a deep throw or none of that. But I know what makes you special is that you can take off and run. And if you want to think that's a negative thing and let people talk you out of that, say, all he is a running quarterback, then you won't be able to. You're not going to be able to win a championship. To me, now you may get better, you might get better weapons, and you may be able to win a championship throwing from the pocket. But this wasn't the team to do that on. So I think Lamar has to take responsibility more than 50% of this game because the way they lost, not because they lost, but the way. And he thought Zay Flowers and Likely and Odell Beckham was going to separate and he was going to be able to throw 3 to 4 touchdowns. It didn't work that way early in the game. That's fine. Then you need to take this game over. And if you lose, that's fine. Now, I did have a person or a friend tell me, he said, what if Lamar gets hurt? That is a great point. If Lamar said, listen, man, I'm not about to wear myself out this early in my contract to win a playoff game, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But I'm going to judge you on that, per se, because I'm not in the locker room. I don't know what's going on. And other people are going to judge you on that. But Lamar, I love you. I think you are better than Pat Mahomes. But right now, Pat Mahomes, after this game, I'm going to put him above you when I rank. There's a reason why Pat Mahomes is going to go down with his superpower. And he's not afraid of it. He's not afraid. If he's going to miss a throw, he's going to miss a throw. If he's going to take off running, he's going to take off running. He'll beat you any kind of way. Well, Lamar is trying to chase Pat Mahomes and trying to outdo Pat Mahomes with what Pat Mahomes does. Like, you don't never see Michael Jordan in the 3-point contest trying to beat Larry Bird. Why? He didn't need to. Larry Bird can win every single 3-point contest and hit every single ball, and Michael Jordan's still going to be Michael Jordan. So that's why I was disappointed at Lamar and could not understand why he was sitting in the pocket like a sitting duck instead of taking off running. If Lamar would have ran for the 150 yards this game, that would have even been even better to me, and this is my opinion, than him throwing for 400 yards and beating Pat Mahomes. Because people would have said, you know what? You can't stop this dude. This dude can beat you from the pocket and stay there the whole time, or he can take off running and beat you like a running back. That makes you special. That's not negative. Don't play into this race thing that black quarterbacks can't throw. Don't let them trick you. And I have to accept responsibility for that as in my life growing up. People saying that you can't do. I remember me playing running back. He's not big enough. I started running over everybody. I was missing. Instead of running 60-yard touchdowns, I was running over a guy for 8 yards. And my cousin told me, so listen, man, you tough, bro. Well, you proved it. But, bro, you ain't going to get no recognition until you get those long touchdowns. So you get out there and trying to prove everybody that you such a macho man of whatever they say they can't do, and you cut off your nose to spite your face. So I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to let Skip talk a little bit, and then I'm going to come back and do my final breakdown.
And Sherman even alluded to it because he's right. I was going right there. I kept saying, get out and run. Let me tell you something. That second game, with Lamar Jackson, what we've talked about, passing and decision-making. Did you see the decisions Brock Purdy made in that second game? He gave you one hit, 2 hits. I'm out of here. I got to go. This pocket is closing. I didn't wait on it, and he ran and got crucial first downs with his
He ran
legs.
for 21, 10, and 21 down the stretch. Took the game over with his legs.
With his legs,
Yes.
not just his legs, his decision-making
Yes.
also on when to go. And that's where Lamar lost his game. I needed him to be able to make better decisions and go. And he could have put some points on the board, and they did not.
All right, Richard Sherman, it's my turn. You beat me out of 3 dinners on this game, 2 on the outcome of the game, and 1 on Pacheco. I said he wouldn't run for more than 50 yards. I will say I took the bet that you jumped on because I wasn't even sure Pacheco could play because they said his toe was so bad he was very iffy. So I thought, well, at least he'll split carries with Edwards-Helaire. And not only did he not split carries, Edwards-Helaire had 1 carry the whole game, but Pacheco goes for 12 on his first carry. Well, I'm up against it after that. But guess what happened after that? He goes 23 more times for a grand total of 56 yards the rest of the way. So you were a little lucky that you barely got over the total on that one. But I give it to you. You still owe me 1 dinner for the season overall, but you got me yesterday 3 times.
You stopped paying attention, Skip, and we talked about this earlier in the year. There was a stretch in.
So yeah, Skip basically. So I'm not gonna let this video be too long, but Skip don't like to lose. He usually every co-host I've seen him have, he wins in dinners. I got to break down actually one day. I got to break down Skip and Shannon fight when they got into it. I believe that Shannon was in the wrong somewhat. Skip did. I'm not gonna say Skip disrespected him, but Skip wasn't being a team player. And that's not how you bring up a team the way he attacked Shannon. But Shannon just was mad because Skip had walked circles around him. And I say that I love Shannon, but I just say Skip had beat him in a lot of bets with Mountain Dew. But anyway, Skip didn't want to lose his bet, but he did. He lost. And I would have picked Baltimore. I had Baltimore to win this game. I thought they would win this game maybe by a touchdown or maybe less, right? But they didn't. But so guys, make sure you comment in the comment section and tell me, why do you think Lamar lost this game? Do you think Lamar is better than Pat Mahomes? Do you think Lamar is a running quarterback? Do you think Pat Mahomes is God? Like, he's just so special. So guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Peace.
They like country need another